If you're living with diabetes and you check your blood sugar every single day, I need you to listen closely to what I'm about to share, because there's a good chance you're making one small mistake that's quietly pushing your numbers higher, and almost nobody talks about it. You eat carefully, you take your medication on time, you watch your portions at dinner, and yet some mornings that number on your glucose meter just doesn't make sense. You did everything right, so why is it still high? Here's the truth. It's usually not the big things that throw off your blood sugar. It's one small everyday habit that feels completely harmless. Something so ordinary that most doctors don't even think to mention it during a regular checkup. Many people don't even realize this is happening until their numbers start creeping up week after week, and they start to worry something is seriously wrong.
But stay with me, because the reason behind this is much more important than it seems, and once you understand it, you'll be able to fix it starting today, right in your own kitchen, without any complicated changes to your routine. Watch to the end, and you'll understand exactly what's been working against you this whole time. I'll break it down simply, step by step, so it actually makes sense. Let me take you back to a moment so many of you will recognize. It's evening, dinner is finished, the dishes are put away, and you finally sit down in your favorite chair to relax. Maybe the TV is on, maybe you're scrolling through photos of the grandkids, and without even thinking about it, your hand reaches for something small to nibble on. A few crackers, a handful of nuts, maybe a small bowl of cereal, because it felt like just a little something before bed.
This is very important, so listen closely. That late evening snack, the one that feels completely innocent, is one of the biggest hidden reasons your morning blood sugar reading comes back higher than it should. Here's why. When you eat close to bedtime, your body doesn't get the same amount of time to process that food the way it does during the day. While you're awake and moving around the house, even just walking to the kitchen or up the stairs, your muscles are quietly helping pull sugar out of your bloodstream and put it to use. But once you lie down to sleep, all of that stops. Your body shifts into a different mode, focused on rest and repair, not on managing blood sugar. So that snack just sits there slowly releasing sugar into your system for hours while you sleep, completely undisturbed. And here's the twist that surprises almost everyone. It doesn't even need to be something sweet. You could skip the cookies entirely and still see your numbers rise, because crackers, cereal, white bread, even some healthy granola bars break down into sugar faster than people expect. Many people are making this mistake without ever realizing the food itself is the problem, not just sugar and desserts. Think about your own evenings for a moment. Be honest with yourself. How many nights this past week did you have something small to eat after dinner? An hour or two before bed? If you're like most people I talk to, the answer is more nights than you'd like to admit. Now here's where it gets even more interesting, and this is the part that truly surprised me when I first learned it. It's not only about what you eat in the evening, it's also about something happening while you sleep that most people have never even heard of. Something your doctor may not have explained clearly because it sounds technical, but once you understand it in plain simple terms, it completely changes how you'll think about your morning numbers from now on. So let's slow down and walk through exactly what's happening inside your body overnight, because once you see it clearly, you'll never look at your evening routine the same way again. Here's something most people have never heard explained simply, and once you understand it, your morning blood sugar readings will finally start to make sense. While you're sleeping, somewhere between 3 and 8 in the morning, your body naturally releases a small wave of hormones to help wake you up and get you ready for the day. This is completely normal. It happens to everyone, diabetic or not. Your body is essentially preparing itself for movement, for energy, for the day ahead, even while you're still lying in bed dreaming. But here's the twist. For someone managing diabetes, that same natural wake-up signal can cause your liver to release extra sugar into your bloodstream, almost like your body is topping off the tank before you even open your eyes. If you went to bed with a stomach already processing a late snack, you're now stacking two things on top of each other. The food's still working its way through your system, and your body's own natural sugar release happening at the same time. That combination is exactly why so many people wake up, haven't eaten a single bite yet, and still see a number on their meter that doesn't match how careful they were the night before. This is very important. It means you can do everything right at dinner, eat a perfectly balanced plate, take your medication exactly on schedule, and still wake up confused by a high number, simply because of what happened hours later while you were fast asleep and had no control over it. Now here's where it gets personal. I want you to think about your own bedtime routine for a moment. What time do you usually eat your last meal? And what time do you actually fall asleep? For a lot of people, especially folks who've had the same routine for 20 or 30 years, dinner happens around 6, but bedtime doesn't come until 10 or 11. That gap, those few hours sitting in front of the television, is exactly when that little snack habit sneaks in. So what can you actually do about this? Let's get practical, because understanding the problem is only half the battle. The first small shift is simple. Try to close your kitchen, mentally and physically, about 3 hours before you plan to sleep. Not forever, not as a strict rule that stresses you out, just as something to notice. If dinner is at 6, treat 9 o'clock as the moment your eating day is finished. This alone gives your body the time it needs to settle before that overnight hormone release happens. The second shift is about what you reach for if you truly do feel hungry in the evening. Instead of crackers or cereal, a small piece of cheese, a few slices of cucumber, or even a hard-boiled egg digests very differently. These foods don't spike and linger the way starchy snacks do, so they're far gentler on your numbers overnight. And here's something that surprises almost everyone I share this with. A short walk after dinner, even just 10 minutes around the block or a few laps through the house, can make a real difference. It helps your muscles use up some of that sugar before it has the chance to sit idle in your bloodstream all night long.
But there's one more piece to this puzzle, something even more overlooked than the evening snack itself. It has to do with how well you're actually sleeping, not just when you eat. And once you see the connection between poor sleep and high morning blood sugar, you'll understand why some nights are so much worse than others, even when your dinner was exactly the same. Let's talk about sleep itself, because this is the piece that ties everything together, and it's the one most people never connect to their blood sugar at all.
Here's the twist. It's not just about how many hours you sleep, it's about how deeply you sleep. When your sleep is light, restless, or interrupted, maybe you're getting up to use the bathroom, maybe your legs feel achy, maybe you're just tossing and turning, your body stays in a low-grade state of stress all night long. And stress, even the quiet kind you don't consciously notice, raises the same hormones that push your blood sugar up. So two people can eat the exact same dinner, go to bed at the exact same time, and wake up with completely different numbers, simply because one of them slept soundly and the other didn't. This is very important, so let it sink in for a moment. Poor sleep isn't just exhausting, it's quietly working against everything else you're doing right. So here's the question I want you to sit with tonight. Is your bedroom actually set up for deep, restful sleep? Is it cool and dark, or do you sleep with a hallway light on and the thermostat running warm? Is your mind calm when you lie down, or are you still replaying the day's worries, the bills, the family, the to-do list for tomorrow? These things matter more than people realize, and they matter especially for you, because your body is working a little harder every single night to keep things balanced. Now let's bring this all together, because I want you to leave here with something simple and clear, something you can actually use starting tonight. First, give your kitchen a closing time, roughly 3 hours before bed, so your body isn't digesting and managing a natural hormone release at the same time. Second, if you do need a small evening bite, choose something gentle, cheese, cucumber, a hard-boiled egg, rather than crackers or cereal that quietly spike your sugar while you sleep. Third, take a short walk after dinner if you're able. Even 10 minutes helps your body use up sugar instead of storing it. And finally, protect your sleep the way you protect your meals. A cool, dark, quiet room and a calm mind before bed can do more for your morning numbers than people ever expect. None of this requires you to overhaul your entire life. It simply requires a little awareness, the kind you now have that you didn't have an hour ago. You're not failing at managing your diabetes. You are simply missing one piece of the picture, a piece most doctors don't have time to fully explain in a 15-minute appointment.
So tonight, when you sit down after dinner, you'll see that moment differently. You'll think about the kitchen, the clock, and the quiet hours ahead, and you'll know exactly what your body needs from you. That small shift in awareness is often where real change quietly begins.